Hey everyone, it's VM Campos, Magic fan. I'm at San Diego Comic-Con. Can you believe it? Look at this, it's amazing. But wait a minute, who do we have on the show today?
Hey everyone, I'm Gavin Verhey. I am a senior game designer and product architect at Wizards of the Coast, which basically means I make up what these wild Magic cards do. And I'm so excited to be here today. We're going to crack a pack, is that right? We're going to open one up, talk through the design a little bit, see if we get anything good. Exactly. What are you hoping for? What do you want to be in here?
Maybe an amazing planeswalker, maybe that big old dinosaur that's a zombie as well.
Oh, yeah, the 7/6 where we discard a card every turn. Yeah, exactly. That guy's a lot of fun. Right. I'm always on the hunt for like a nice legend. We got a bunch of cool new legends in the set for Commander, so I'm always looking for those. Or Chandra, you can't go too wrong. All right,
there's
ready?
Like a little bit for everyone, isn't there?
Yeah, well, I love this set in particular because what we've been working with in our core sets is to build in more stuff for all kinds of players.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's great stuff for introductory, for new players, for introducing them to Magic. But at the rare and mythic level, you've got some great cards for Modern, and you've got a bunch of really exciting Commander cards. So there's a lot of really cool stuff in here.
Would you like to do the honors?
Oh, more than anything in the world, let's do it.
We'll use all your good luck to get the best cards.
Oh no, I need that for later. Okay, so we're just gonna go a card at a time?
Yeah.
All right, Angelic Gift. So I love cards like this. In design, it's what we call a cantrip. So you play it, you draw a card right away for doing it. And it's like a nice little deck filler out, which is really nice in a limited environment. So that's always kind of cool. I think I put this card in Battle Bond, which is a set near and dear to my heart. So
I didn't get to play enough of Battle Bond, but it seemed really fun that you can team up with your best friend and then beat your other best friends.
Yeah, and I love cards like this in that set because you can. The best part is that high five moment where you play a creature and I cast Angelic Gift on it, right? That's great. But anyway, enough about Angelic Gift. That's more than anyone's ever said about that card. It's time for Fortress Crab, a 1/6. So this card has a fun story. So designer Eric Lauer, mad genius, one of the smartest people I've ever had the chance to work with. Okay, and he had a goal for a long time of making every power toughness combination you could roll on 2d6. So if you rolled 2d6, you would have a power toughness combination no matter how you rolled it. And when he was working on Innistrad, Fortress Crab was the 1/6 he made to finally get the 1 and the 6 in the Magic. So
that's pretty fun. And the art is pretty cool. It's like a creepy little crab with little glowing eyes. I love the art in all the Magic cards. So even if it's not an amazing creature, you can be amazed by the art.
Yeah, hey, I've created great board stalls with Fortress Crab before. Sure. It's a fine card. Feral Invocation, a nice little trick here. This came from Theros Block originally. I remember working on this one, and it was a great way to meld combat tricks with auras. Because often a big problem with auras, you play with sorcery speed, etc., etc. This is great because it makes it for a combat trick that sticks around afterwards. So it's a really, really nice one.
The kind of little sparkles give you that throwback to that block, doesn't it? I love how they have these callbacks to these previous sets if you were playing around at that time.
Yeah, one of the really cool things about core sets is you get to kind of pan around the multiverse a little bit. And here, you see a little bit of Theros going on there. So I love it. I absolutely love it. Really, really nice card. Speaking of panning around the multiverse, right here you've got an Ixalan-inspired card, the Fathom Fleet Cutthroat, killing off a creature that was dealt damage this turn. I love cards like this in design because they're very simple cards. They create this great moment of bluffing to the higher level player. Just to the new player, they see this and no one knows that it exists. They're not worried about it. But to the high level player, like you and I are playing, and you know this card might be in my hand, we might play very differently.
Yes.
So it creates a really interesting, complex texture without confusing the brand new player. So that's really, really exciting.
Yeah, they see it as a 3/3, but then if you look beyond that, it has a trick that you can do. This is actually the set that I kind of got back into Magic with. I had played back in the 90s, and then I stopped for a long time and came back in Ixalan block.
Really cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you came back with Ixalan and Pirates and Dinosaurs and Merfolk Oh My.
Really fun.
Destructive Digger. Oh, yeah. So something we're very careful about with cards is that you don't mess them. You don't mess yourself up with them. And this is one that's very easy to accidentally mess yourself up with. You play it, and if you're like, what I'm going to do every turn is now to sack all my lands to draw cards, a new player could easily run into trouble. So we actually did a bunch of testing with this card in particular with new players to make sure people weren't playing it and just sacrificing a land every turn to draw cards. Unfortunately, we found that's not what they were doing, and it all worked out okay. I love this kind of thing for Red because Red often runs out of gas in the late game, and so being able to convert your extra lands into cards so you don't run out of gas later on is really, really important. So this is a great way to do that. It's kind of a new take on it with the core set, and I think it turned out really nice.
This is a brand new card. It hasn't been printed before?
So, of course, the great thing about core sets is you have a mix of old cards and new cards. So far, we've seen all reprints. All these existed previously in Magic. This is a brand new card we designed just for the set, so really, really cool. Of course, you get a goofy little goblin digging around, so I love it. Back to another reprint. Sometimes you just need efficient, limited flyers. basics, right? You're playing Magic, you want to teach the basics. What does white like? It likes flying creatures. It's really good at flying creatures. And you want to be able to make sure that you're rewarded for playing lots of creatures, because the difference between white and green likes playing one big creature, and white likes playing a lot of small creatures. And this also plays well with tokens, which white likes a lot. So this is a very like traditional white feeling card.
Yes. A little bit of everything, like a community. That's one of the concepts of white, isn't it? Like, we're all in it together.
Yeah, absolutely. And Griffin Protector does a great job of showing that off. Hey, look, you always need vanillas. Stone Golem, it's classic. 5 mana, 4/4. It's exactly perfect for any deck. It's not. No one's. You're never excited to be like playing a Stone Golem.
Sure.
But it's important to be like, hey, if I'm drafting, I need to fill my curve. There's something for you. And artifact creatures often do that for us, where you'll be able to put some in a set to be kind of like late in the draft. Hey, I need a 5-drop. I just need some meat. I can pick this creature up and play it. And yeah, he accomplishes an important role.
I like the art on this one a lot. Also, like the perspective of it, like you're from down below because it's such a big creature.
Yeah, and also I think it's important that we're able to show off a wide variety of fantasy in a core set to show the new player, hey, look, there's all these different things we're reaching into, and a golem is a very traditional way of thinking about Magic. So I'm glad we're able to get that kind of snuck in here as one of those fine tropes. And speaking of tropes, a druid is a fantastic one, right? You have that kind of like mystical, magical druid out in the woods. So Leafkin Druid here, kind of classic thing of he's an elementalist, lives out in the woods, generates lots of energy, like it's one with nature. And this is a brand new card for the set as well.
Yeah.
Something we often do is we build tiny little themes into the cards for limited. One theme is elementals, so there's some elementals running around this set more than normal. Another thing is for a 2-color pair, we like to build like a little limited archetypes. And the controlling 4 more creatures thing is you see on a few different cards in the set. Green-white wants to have a lot of creatures in play, and so Leafkin Druid rewards you for doing just that. So it's fun.
And a good blocker too.
And it's a good blocker to boot. Frostlinks, another delightful card. This is great. Tricky thing with blue is it's all, of course, blue's known for controlling cards like this Fortress Crab right here that are 1/6, right, like building back. But we want every color to have the chance to be aggressive or defensive. And Frostlinks helps blue be aggressive by tapping their creature down and letting you get in. And we kind of like that freezing nature of it. And once again, you get that kind of like ice cap. It's a cool little trope.
Yeah, this is a reprint that from a lot of other sets in the past, like other core sets as well, or was it in a...
I believe it actually debuted in a core set, and then we brought it back many times. And it's a great, just makes sense. It's hard to put in a number of sets actually as well since. So yeah, to me this is like a staple blue effect now.
This will go great in my cat tribal deck. However, it's a Selesnya card.
Oh yeah,
so.
yeah. This is a rare blue cat.
Yes.
So not quite in the green-white, but I do love these green-white cats. And here's another new card. So the thing we were trying with the core set is to get a little bit of color hate in this time around, because we want to make sure that we have good sideboard cards. The core set is kind of like the, it kind of helps set the stage for the next year of Magic, make sure that there's the right stuff in there, and we want to make sure there's enough good sideboard cards to deal with throughout that year of Magic. And so building some good color hate is really important. And Fry does all of that perfectly. It deals with creatures, and also looking backwards at War of the Spark, deals damage to planeswalkers as well. So it does a great job of helping red decks deal with tricky white or blue planeswalker. So if they land, say, I don't know, a Teferi, you've got Fry at the ready to chalk them right down.
And I think this wins a lot of prize categories for kind of a short name, hilarious art, and also hilarious flavor text.
To me, this is a home run, and something you want to do with the core set, and just Magic in general, is to make it feel fun. Magic's a fun game, right? And yeah, you've got your fair amount of cards that are, oh, look, I'm a crab, I'm very scary, or, oh, we have to go fight on the high seas. But it's really important to just have, like, hey, it's a really hilarious card. A new player sees it, and they're super charmed by it. And to me, that's really powerful, and we love doing that wherever we can.
Yes.
Don't want to get too far here. Hey, look at that. Speaking of color hate, we've got Devout Decree, which is the black and red color hate card. This is a great example once again, you'll note it hits creatures and planeswalkers because we weren't sure if War of the Spark would play out the way we wanted it to, and we needed to make sure there was some kind of way to deal with that if it got problematic. And Devout Decree just does a great job of being like, hey, once again, you've got a really strong black or red planeswalker, Liliana's too powerful, hey, 2 mana, let's get it out of here.
Now, this feels like a Theros card. Can we get any sort of exclusives about the future?
One thing I love about the core set is you get to pan around to all these different planes, and so you'll see cards in the set from all around Magic. And so to me, this is a great chance of looking at a different place, and different cards in the set will look in different places. You get kind of a smorgasbord of all of Magic's history. So I'm honestly not sure where this is set. It's got a quote from Safara on it, who I don't think is from Theros, so So who knows? Maybe we'll find out someday.
Sure.
I also love like putting these little seeds in there of like maybe someday in the future
Yes.
you'll find out about this. Oh, Sky Knight Vanguard, yeah. This is a super fun card. Notably, it's a knight. We got announced Eldraine yesterday of High Fantasy World, so maybe you'll want to see more about knights in the future, so keep that in mind. But I also just love the flavor. He comes in, he calls out, hey, we need you, and then a creature shows up, right? So it's got really good flavor, and also with our gold cards at Uncommon, we try and use them to point you in directions. So if you're drafting and you're like, oh, I'm red, I'm going to pick up this red-white card, now I can figure out what to do. And this card tells you very clearly, if you're red-white, attack, 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 attack.
Jump now.
Right, yeah, jump now, not later. So it does a great job of that. Anything else on this one?
Once again, great art as usual. I love the perspective on it.
Yeah, it's a card that's good perspective. All right, so now what we've got, a Leyline, very exciting. So Leyline's making a return. We saw them first all the way back in Guild Pact, back in the original Ravnica block. We did them again in a core set, and now we finally got them back one more time in another core set. Some reprint ones, Leyline of Void, Leyline of Sanctity, old cards coming back. But we want to try and finally make some good ones for colors that didn't really get their due the first time around.
Sure.
And Leyline of Abundance is a brand new one that plays right into what Green wants to do. Leylines, of course, coming into play before the game starts. So if you play this on turn 0, and you play Little War Elves on the first turn, it's going to tap for 2 mana right away, which is pretty exciting because you can get up to 4 mana on turn 2.
Yes.
So
get those big, get that Dreadmaw, Colossal Dreadmaw out even faster.
Yeah, right. Or whatever else you got lined up. Another Leyline of Abundance, perhaps. And of course, you got that big activated ability for the long game. And a foil forest, check that out. So, fun fact about the this core set, we changed the foil ratios with this set.
Yeah.
So used to be you got a foil 1 in roughly every 4 packs. Now you get a foil 1 in every 3 packs. So you're just all that more likely to get a foil. So for that paying off here is we get our awesome foil forest.
So people can trick out their deck even faster because you get them at a higher ratio, right?
Yeah, and that man, it's such a gorgeous thing. You know, the reason why we did it is we just found we looked at a bunch of data. And it just turns out that new players especially love foils, and experienced players also love foils. So why not just give them out a little more often, let people be excited more often? Then you've got, of course, your classic planes back here. This is a great art from Shards. But what I really want to talk about in the back of this pack that I'm stoked about are these new tokens, right?
Yes.
We have a new token frame. We decided, hey, we've been doing this thing for a long time. Let's make some hot, new-looking tokens. Let's redesign the whole thing. And I love the full art look on these tokens. Like, they look so much more prominent in play. They have a great look to them. And James Arnold, our graphic designer, really knocked it out of the park on this one. It turned out super nice.
Yeah, these are like so good. You just really focus on the art so much, and they're just so evocative. So this is like, I think, a home run to add to this brand new core set because it's just amazing to look at.
Yeah, it's absolutely wonderful. So there you go, a little peek inside a core set 2020 for you all.
Well, that was pretty amazing. We got a sneak peek about all of these cards and a lot of information right from the man himself. It seemed like you knew something about every single one of these cards. So how much would you say you've worked on the new core set cards?
You know, I work on some sets more than others. Admittedly, I worked on Core Set 2020 a little bit less than War of the Spark and Eldraine, because the way it often works is you don't work on 2 things right next to each other.
Sure. Because
like when you're focused on one thing, the other thing's already happening, so you know you don't work on it as much. But with that said, I still touch the set a lot. There's a few designs I had rolling around in it. And the great thing about a core set is you've got a bunch of reprints in there, so I can tell a lot of stories about a lot of these cards because they're from Magic's history, right? Like you get to see all your old friends again when the core set comes to town. So and a number of things from the product design standpoint, the architecture standpoint that I work on, a core set is a key set to us because we want to make sure that we can get new players in and keep old players satisfied. And I feel like Core Set 2020 does a great job straddling that line perfectly. So yeah, go and check it out and check out Core Set, and then we've got Throne of Eldraine coming out around the corner in just a couple months. So
it's right around the corner.
Stay tuned.
Well, I'm gonna go draft right over here. Thank you so much, Gavin.
Hey, it was a pleasure, Victor, and thank you so much. And hey, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. It's content, people like you watching, content creators like Victor that make all this stuff happen. So please, please, please like, subscribe, and check all this stuff out.